What's up, people? Welcome back. This is Chef Ed. It's day 17, and we're talking about why too many spices ruin your blend. It's like when they say too many chefs in the kitchen, too many cooks in the kitchen, too many hands in one pot. You know what I mean? It's the same thing with the spices, all right? You want to be very careful. You're not, there's a fine line between just the right amount and overboard, all right? So we don't want to go overboard. Stay tuned. It's gonna be a spicy one. So, the first thing is, more spices does not equal better, does not equal more flavor. All right? It actually more than likely translates to confusion. All right? Let me break down what I mean by that. So if you put too many things in the mix, right, you can't really tell what's what. Like, you can't get the smokiness, you can't get the citrus notes, you can't get the umami because there's just so many things going on. When you feel like you're about to taste something else, there's another one that hits you, and that just keeps going on, and it just becomes this domino effect, right? So you really want to pay attention to, you need to have structure even with your blends, right? You need to first figure out what is the predominant flavor you're gonna have for this blend, and then go off of that. Don't just add a whole bunch of different ingredients in there because you think they're gonna taste good. Like, there needs to be a rhyme and a reason. Like, it's just like, making any recipe. Like, there's certain things you put more of, there's certain things you put less of. So it's the same thing with your blends. It has to have direction. So think of it this way. You don't want a situation where you have super potent, like really strong herbs, really strong spices, really high acidity. Those three are very profound flavors on their own. So imagine putting those together and not having the right ratio. They're doing this, they're fighting, and you're gonna end up with a situation that's not the best, right? So you really wanna pay attention to how you allow the flavors to come through when you make a mix, right? Like, for instance, if you're going to do a smoky, like a barbecue, right? A dry barbecue. You want to make sure that you're tasting smoke, but not so much where it becomes bitter, right? You want to make sure that you taste sweet, but it's not uberly sweet, right? So you have to figure out what that balance is between what it is the end product is going to be, and then how much of each ingredient you need to put in there to make sure that it is at its best once everything is mixed and you're tasting it, right? You should be able to taste different notes at different times. Like, as you taste it, the first flavor you get is one thing, and then as time goes on, it changes to something else. In the middle, there's a different flavor, right? At the end, there's a different flavor. So this is when you really get to create spices that actually sell, right? Because people enjoy it when they taste it. The other reason why you don't want to do too many ingredients is because that affects your bottom line. Like, the more ingredients you put together, the more it's going to cost you to make that mix. So the less ingredients you use, 8 out of 10 times you're not going to pay as much, right? Unless you're using some super high-end, saffron, you're using Aleppo, you're using like some fancy, Saigon, cinnamon. Like, there's some ingredients, of course, are going to be pricey on their own. But for the most part, general rule of thumb is if you use less ingredients, you are going to not have to pay as much for that bottom line base cost to actually make your blend. Cool? So I want to leave you with something very important. Great seasoning blends is not about how many you add to make your mix. It's actually how many you leave out, right? The sweet spot, the goal, is to create maximum flavor with very little effort, right? So it really takes understanding flavor profiles. It really takes understanding what goes with what, how much of one with the other to really, when they come together, they create this harmonious balance. They create this flavor that tastes and feels like something that was dreamed up and was handed down to you by God himself. You know what I mean? Like, that's when flavor really comes through. So it's paying attention to the ingredients, it's knowing what goes with what, and then finally it's knowing how much to put with each one to make that one cohesive blend. Thanks for watching. That was Flavoring Layering 101. I'll see you tomorrow.